The reasoning and logic underpinning the sequencing of a somatic movement practice lies in childhood developmental movement and the way in which our sensory motor system first taught us as babies how to lift our heads, contract our waist muscles, roll onto our sides, push away from the ground, crawl, stand up, and walk forward into life. Begin and end each practice with a soma scan. This is important. Why? Because your soma scan gives you the chance to notice any recurring patterns of tension that show up from day to day. Your final soma scan gives you the chance to notice the benefits of the practice you just did and whether or not anything has shifted or changed and how. Once you've finished your soma scan, begin with movements that release the muscles of the front and back so that your spine can move with more freedom. Why? Because as humans, we stand up, we move forward towards life. We're constantly using our back muscles, and the front is constantly coordinating with the back. Those movements would include arch and flatten, arch and curl, back lift, diagonal arch and curl, or the flower. Then, once you feel that your back and front feel more supple and relaxed, move on to the movements that address the sides of your body. Why? Because as humans, we have two sides to our body, and the waist muscles are critical to our balance. Two movements that you've learned to address the waist muscles are the side bend or reach to the top shelf. Once you can sense your waist muscles moving one side to the other, complete your practice with an integrative movement. Why? Because integrative movements allow your brain to restore full body coordination, and that's what we're looking for. When we stand up and walk towards life, it's much easier and more comfortable when we can sense ourselves as the full body system that we are. Now, the wash rag is the most luscious integrative movement you've learned in this course. It's everyone's favorite. And yet, the walking movements are also very important. They integrate the back, waist, and abdominals and remind your pelvis to softly move as you connect to the feet. Let's recap. First step, do a soma scan before you begin your practice. Lie down on your mat. Straighten your legs out if you can, and with your arms alongside your body. Notice what you feel and how you feel. Now start your practice. 2, begin with basic movements that address the front and back of your body. 3, now move on to movements that address the waist muscles on both sides of the body so that they can lengthen and shorten easily on both sides. 4, move on to twisting or rotational movements that integrate the shoulders and hips, legs and feet. And lastly, finish with a soma scan. How do you feel at the end of your practice versus the beginning? So follow these guidelines and you'll be well on your way to creating a somatic movement practice that works for you. And remember, there is no end to learning. The more you learn and experience, the more able you will be to pick and choose the sequencing that works for you and then to vary it over time. So enjoy, keep pandiculating, and never stop moving.